Be yet another short tactical review. It's going to be on the Sororitas command squad, and it's an HQ unit that doesn't take up any slots on the force org chart. You can only pick them if you've taken a Canoness, and Canonesses sort of have a limited use, so this isn't a squad you'll see very often. But it's actually, fairly unique for some things in the Sisters of Battle army list. And it does have a use. It might be overpriced compared to what you get, but we'll talk about that. So what's in the squad? It always has 5 members. There really isn't a way to add additional members. It's going to come with 2 unique Sisters and then 3 Celestins that don't use their standard rules. So what do you have in the squad? Let's just run through. It has those Sisters. Now it has the 2 unique ones. So it has a Dialogus, and that's Dialogus here with the Laud Hailer. And then it has a Hospitaller who it basically gives the squad feel no pain. So let's talk about this squad and what it can do. They're infantry, but they're never going to be scoring because they're a HQ unit. They could be denial. They have acts of faith, and their act of faith is actually pretty useful. It's the Endless Crusade. Every one of them has the 6-up Shield of Faith, and they're all wearing power armor, so they have their 3-up save anyways. The Celestins come with bolt guns. The rest of them come with bolt pistols. Actually, they all have bolt pistols, but the 2 non-Celestins have just bolt pistols. They all have frag and crack grenades. The Hospitaller has Chinchurgian's tools. Not sure if I pronounced that right. And the Dialogus has a Laud Hailer. They can also take a transport, so a Rhino or Immolator. And then one of the Celestins you can upgrade. You can give them the Simacrum Imperialis, which lets them basically get a boost to their act of faith. Lets them re-roll it if they fail it. So it's pretty useful. The other option is the Blessed Banner, and this is actually the Blessed Banner I have here. The Blessed Banner can only be taken by this squad. There's one other individual who has it as a sort of a special bonus for their equipment, but this basically counts in close combat. It gives them an additional kill if it's a tied close combat, which probably isn't really going to do you a whole lot of good, because it's unlikely with a 5-girl squad to tie your combats. Any of the Celestins, that means all 3 of them, could take chainswords for free. I don't know why you would do that. They could all take Stormbolters for 3 points. That's okay, but it's probably not worth it. They could take a Heavy Bolter or Flamer for 5 points. Now we're talking. This isn't a Heavy Bolter. It's not even actually a sister. It's an Imperial Guard, but you can't really tell it's not female, so I picked it up for a heavy weapon example. A Heavy Bolter. Now, here's a good choice. They could also take a Multi-Melta or a Meltagun, or a Heavy Flamer. So this squad has an act of faith. It gives them Relentless, and that's where the squad actually is pretty useful, because the 3 Celestines could take Multi-Meltas or Heavy Bolters, and the rounds that they're relentless, and you're going to know they're relentless before they get to shooting. If your act of faith works, they're going to be able to walk and shoot, and so these girls could actually be pretty effective. You could move them downrange and be shooting off Multi-Meltas without snap firing, or Heavy Bolters without snap firing, which is a pretty good tactic. On top of it, what happens? This girl with her Laud Hailer, she basically regenerates faith points. If someone gets an act of faith, you re-roll d6. On a 6, you get your faith point back. And anyone within 6 inches gets this benefit, so she can boost some of the other squads and save you faith points. And then the Hospitaller here, she gives her own squad feel no pain, so you definitely don't want her up front because she gives the whole squad that ability. You know, in reality, I would probably put the Dialogus up front, because the 1 in 6 chance of regenerating a faith point is you know, not that not that likely. So she's a good way to put a 3-up save in front, and if someone's going to die, it's not someone who's all that useful. Now these two girls do have the standard ballistic skill 4, even though they're armed with pistols, which means they could shoot. They can throw their crack grenades or frag grenades if they're close to an opponent, or they can shoot battlefield debris weapons like the quad cannon or the Icarus las cannon, and they can do that if they're sitting back, you know, basically as a sort of backup heavy weapon squad with these three using some sort of heavy weapon. So those are some pretty good options. There's some downsides to the squad. One, you know, they're not scoring. They're denial at best. They also cost a lot. If you consider that they cost 115 points base, and then to get the heavy bolter or meltagun, you're going to either spend 5 or 10 points model, and so it's 115 plus those upgrades, and then you have to have taken a Canoness, so they cost 65 points for the Canoness, just a bare bones Canoness. And if you compare that to the Retributor squad, which could also have 4 multi-meltas or heavy bolters, and this squad could at best have 3, the Retributor squad costs less. So it's kind of a hard comparison, but they do have a use. I've played them before in games where I've used Canonesses, and they definitely score their points back if you use them correctly, but they're not a squad you're going to see a whole lot of.